very similar to the businesses again. Like I mentioned, was listening to some interviews with Grant Cardone, and he was interviewing billionaires, and he's talking about like how they all, basically borrow money, even though they have millions and millions and of course billions of dollars. They borrow money in order to start businesses, or they start with no money, and then they get to a certain point, then they take the money out and let the business continue to grow. Take the money out and use that to do what? Start more businesses, and then a lot of them will actually put the holdings into real estate, right? So very similar concept, right? And it's the concept that I teach is like leverage. That's all that is. So you're just taking the money back out basically from that, and then you're letting it grow. Now there's a little bit of trade with balance sheet versus income statement, which is the cash flow part. So that's a little bit more strategic, but that's the logic, because if you talk to anyone, and I've tested this for like 4 decades, right? I've talked to many people that used to own real estate. And again, very different in business than asset class in real estate. And there's been no exception. Like every person that's owned real estate, when I asked them, I was like, would you have kept it? They're like, yeah, the LA house that they couldn't get rid of, that was $100 and something thousand in the early 90s when real estate crashed. I think it was 94 when Orange County made some bad investments, real estate crashed, corrected. And then now it's worth like a couple $1 million. So that's why it's going to grow because it's an asset. You want to take money out and leverage, and that's what you would normally do. Also in paper assets, same thing in business. And that's Grant was talking about that's one of their strategies that they use, Grant Cardone. And so they're easiest with real estate and business asset class. There's ways to do it in paper assets. And fairly hard in commodities,
Yeah. So you mentioned a relatable story, but I was on the bad end of it, right?